Hello. In today's lesson, we're having a look at character traits. Yesterday, we had a look at Crunch's character traits at the beginning of the story. Today, we're going to think about what sort of character Crunch was at the end of the story. We're going to have a look back in the story and think, what clues are in the text to explain what sort of character Crunch was? Today, we're going to write a sentence to describe Crunch's character traits at the end of the story. Remember about character traits from yesterday? We know that the physical traits on the outside are what we see. So if we were looking at Crunch here, we could see that he has green skin, sharp teeth, and a long tail. If we were having a look at Crunch's character traits, we could see, or we know from yesterday, that he was greedy and unkind. We also know that he was mean. Let's have a look at our sentences from yesterday. In the beginning. At the beginning of the story, Crunch was a mean character. Can you remember yesterday that we looked in the story and found out why he was a mean character? There were lots of clues in the story that told us. He would make the other animals tremble when they heard his voice. He was very impolite when he yelled, "Crunch and munch, crunch and munch. My name is Crunch and I want my lunch." All of the other animals were frightened of him and would swim, hop, wriggle, slither, or run away. All of those parts in the story showed us that Crunch was being mean to the other characters. Let's have a look at Crunch in the end of the story, or at the end. Let's have a little think today about what sort of character Crunch is at the end of the story. Once again, I have put up our emotions or our character traits from Inside Out. In the first one, sad, I've got lots of words that also mean sad. Do you think at the end of the story Crunch was feeling sad? Let's have a look at happy. Do you think he was happy at the end of the story? Was he angry or was he scared? Let's have a look at what the author has written in the story. But Crunch was not only greedy, he was also a terrible coward. I can see the word there, coward. When someone's being a coward, it means they're a little bit of a scaredy cat. They're frightened of something. He could hear the lizard's feet tapping as they ran, the bird's wings flapping as they flew, and the fish's tail swishing as they swam. All the creatures stared at Crunch as they came closer and closer. I think Crunch is a little bit of a coward because in the story we know that he started to run away. He started to back up and run away. So let's think about what Crunch is doing there. Let's think about what Crunch is saying and about how he feels. Then the creatures turned from the chase. The fish swam. The frogs hopped. The birds flew. The worms wriggled, the snake slithered, and the lizard stood up and ran home to their own part of the river. Crunch turned. Crunch ran. He slipped in the mud and splashed in the water as he hurried and scurried away. Crunch kept on going. He didn't want any swimming, running, hopping, wriggling, or flapping things coming after him. So let's have a little think about how Crunch was feeling. I've put two character traits here. I've put the character traits sad And I've put the character traits fearful or scared. How do you think Crunch was feeling? Do you think he was feeling sad? Was he upset that they were coming near him? Or do you think he was a little bit scared or fearful that they were coming near him? I know in the story it says that he didn't want any swimming, running, hopping, wriggling or flapping things coming near him. He seemed quite scared of all of those animals coming near him. He was also a coward. As he was running away, we know that he hurried and scurried and he slipped in the mud. He was trying to be quick to get away from the other animals. Let's write about Crunch at the end of the story. At the end of the story, Crunch was scared. The author said that Crunch was a coward and he ran away from the other animals. Crunch scurried away because he was afraid when the other animals were approaching him. And that's one of our words that we did in Strive last term, approaching, coming near. Oh, he was feeling a little bit scared. I can even see that he's feeling a little bit scared in the picture as well. Pictures can help us with clues in the story as well as the text. Have a look now at Crunch's face. I want you to have a go at making this face. I think he's making a little bit of a frightened face or a scared face, an unsure face. Now it's your turn. Today, your task is to write a sentence about Crunch. Crunch was because he... I'd like you to tell me how you know. Crunch was fearful because he... Crunch was scared because he... You might even say Crunch was worried as... Well, what was happening that made him worried? Your job today is to write one sentence in your books to describe what sort of character Crunch was at the end of the story and how you know. After you've had a go at writing your sentence, I would like you to draw a picture underneath that matches your sentence. So if you were saying that Crunch was scared, I don't think you're going to draw Crunch with a big smile on his face, because that's not showing me that Crunch was scared. I think you're going to draw Crunch with a worried look on his face. Don't forget to send a picture to your teacher on Class Dojo to share with your teacher about what sort of character Crunch was at the end of the story. Have fun!